Well, what is happening, Marvel fans? Welcome back to the channel. I am D-WIZZLE, and welcome to another edition of my podcast. I'm glad to finally get back to these podcasts. It's been a while, and I'm also glad to get back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Finally, we will be talking about Black Widow. I know, I'm late. I'm sorry. Life got in the way, but we're here talking about it now. We're finally going to be talking about Black Widow. Full spoiler discussion. I assume most of you have seen it by now, but if you haven't, I would suggest you guys watch it and come back and listen to this, because this is going to be a full spoiler discussion. I'm going to talk about every detail, so you have been warned. And I am not alone. Joining with me today, I have Nick Falson. Wake your ass up!
Whoa, wait a minute. This is not New York. Where am I? Who am I? And who the hell are you guys?
I casted a spell so you can appear on D-WIZZLE's podcast. Welcome. You are held against your will.
And I'm gonna get my flight ticket. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I'm in the flesh here.
Awesome. And also joining with me, I have Evan.
Yeah, good to be back talking about Marvel.
And finally, we have our newly incarnated lavender-haired warrior, Cree.
I'm also being held here against my will.
Oh, come on. I know you have some opinions about this movie. Had to have you here, because I also slightly feel bad because you had to leave halfway through our Snyder Cut review. So it's like, I wanted you here because I know you're a big Black Widow fan. We're all pretty much big Black Widow fans, so we have to talk about this. All right, so let's get into this. So, when it comes to Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, really enjoy her. I think she's a really great character. She's become one of our favorites in the MCU, played awesomely by Scarlett Johansson. She's great. Though me personally, when it comes to them doing a spin-off film of hers, I feel like I didn't really need it, even though I really like her as a character, because, I already feel like I got enough of her with the Avengers films and wherever movie she pops up in, Captain America and stuff like that. So it's like, I feel like I don't need to know everything about her backstory. But if they were going to do it, I felt like they should have done it a long time ago. I personally felt like they should have done it after Age of Ultron, because they were setting up her backstory kind of in that movie. Or, they could have done it right before Infinity War and Endgame, happened, but no. But because they didn't do that, spoilers, Endgame, she dies. And then they want to decide to release a movie for her. So I'm like, okay, why would you do that? Because you didn't capitalize, on her while she's still alive. So it's just like, I don't know, it just feels a little too late. But, they're going to make it anyway. So I was like, okay, let's just see how it goes. So this movie was supposed to come out a long time ago, like in 2020, early 2020. But of course the pandemic happened, so it got pushed back like 2 or 3 times. And so it finally comes out June of 2021. And personally, I felt like my excitement for this movie kept getting lower and lower the more times they kept pushing it back, to the point where I didn't really care to see this anymore. It was like Disney didn't know what to do with this movie. Did they want to put it on Premiere Access? Did they want it to just be in theaters? Will it make enough money if it was just in theaters? Like, should it just be free on Disney Plus? I know that's not economically a good idea, but, whatever. So they just decided to have it out in theaters and also be on Premiere Access. Which apparently Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney for that, because in her contract she said that
it was supposed to be a theatrical release only.
Yeah, and so they did not, fulfill the stuff with their contract. So there's going to be a whole thing about that, and I won't be surprised if other Disney movies that were supposed to have theatrical releases only, other actors and actresses suing Disney for that as well, because there's other movies that they did for Premiere Access that they weren't supposed to. Jungle Cruise and other stuff. Cruella. It's a mess. But anyway, the marketing looked okay. It didn't really blow me away. It just looked like, oh yeah, it's another action film. Black Widow's the main star. I was looking forward to seeing how Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, and David Harbour would be in the movie. And Taskmaster, okay, cool. I'm not the biggest Taskmaster fan, but I was interested to see how they would do in this movie. So we all saw it. Did we see it? We saw it opening weekend, right? Or was it the Tuesday after?
Yeah, it was like the Tuesday after.
Yeah. And so overall, It was all right. It was pretty solid. It wasn't the waste of time that I thought it was going to be. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Was it worth the whole year wait? No, no. They should have just released it. You know, they should have released it like last year. Honestly, I didn't feel like them pushing it back really helped it that much personally. And I feel like this is still a movie that we should have gotten years ago. But you know, for what they gave us, I thought it was alright. I had a good time with it. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Who wants to go first? I'll go with Cree. What did you think about Black Widow? Since you are the Black Widow fan, you are a Taskmaster fan, please tell us your thoughts.
It was underwhelming.
Mm.
It wasn't as big of a waste of time as I thought it was going to be. The humor in this movie, there were some spots where I was like, oh my god, just shut up. Like, because the humor was very repetitive, especially with the Red Guardian. I loved him. I liked him a lot, but at the same time, like, his humor was stupid, and it didn't fit. Mm. He acted like a total complete idiot the whole time, and it just did not work. Mm. I love her sister, quote unquote sister. Mm. I love her. She's awesome. She's super cool. Black Widow herself, I'm in a minority. I think she was underwhelming. Oh. I think she was underwhelming. I don't think that that's the Black Widow that we have come to know, honestly. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't as badass as she usually is. I didn't think so. Except when she broke her own nose. That was... I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was intense. That was intense.
The story I thought was actually interesting about the Red Room, but I was pissed because I thought they were going to dive more into her backstory, the backstory that I know, you know, but they didn't. I was sitting there, I was like, oh, you're doing a montage again. That's great. So what the fuck are we doing a Black Widow movie for?
I kind of see that, actually.
You know, like, you could have spent the first, at least, they spent too much time on the Ohio thing, I think. And they didn't spend enough time on her actually in the Red Room. They didn't spend any time in it, actually. No. They just did that stupid fucking montage. Yeah. And I think they could have taken 10, 15 minutes to actually show her growing up in the Red Room, becoming Black Widow, showing us actually, like, what was actually done to her. Because she has all of this PTSD from being in the Red Room, but then they don't show it.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that. I thought we were going to see that.
Yeah.
So, overall, I thought it was solid, but it wasn't what I was expecting it to be.
All right. Nick, tell us, what are your thoughts on Black Widow?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, really. This is a very safe Marvel movie. It doesn't change the game or as worse as previous Marvel movies. It's a average Marvel movie. Am I glad we have it? Yes, because it also can be a fuck you to Ike Perlmutter, which I will always be happy to give that man a middle finger because he's a human piece of trash. I'll get to that later because he's really a reason why this movie took ages to get out. But it's okay. I don't really have I only have a few opinions for this movie, but overall it's average.
All right, Evan, tell us, what are your thoughts on Black Widow?
I thought it was solid. I really enjoyed it. I do agree with Cree that I would have liked to have actually seen more of Natasha in the Red Room. They glossed over that. And I think we really should have spent more flashback time, you know, of her as a teenager. Instead of just focusing on the present. I know they're trying to have a story about the current Black Widows, you know, so I feel like that was their center focus, is about Black Widows in general, not just specifically Natasha. But I think that's just what we were expecting, that we were expecting it to be a full origin story for Natasha, and it really isn't. So it does feel like she sort of gets lost in the shuffle of everything else that's going on. So that is a little disappointing, but at the same time, I did enjoy everything else that was going on. You know, so it was interesting to see everything with that, you know, in the world of spies like that. So, yeah, I thought it was good.
So, yeah, let's start with Natasha herself, since it is technically her movie. Technically. So, I personally thought she was really good in this movie. However, I also agree with Creed that she feels overshadowed in her own film. And I don't feel like it's necessarily her fault. I think it's more of the writing and where the direction of the story is.
I thought she was so bland.
You thought she was bland?
I thought she was bland.
Yeah, she was.
I thought the little kid that played younger Natasha was better than Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact, that girl is actually Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson. That's their daughter.
Oh, really?
Oh.
That's her
Who
daughter.
plays young Nat.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh. Okay.
That's why she's good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I gotta agree to disagree on that. I mean, I do see why you say that, and I do think that young Natasha is actually really good. Actually, the first 15 minutes of this movie, 20 minutes, is great. Like when they were kids and they were just setting up, you know, them pretending to be an actual family, and then, you know, David Harbour gets in trouble with whoever, and then they have to run away, and that's when David Harbour's character sends Natasha and Yelena, who's Florence Pugh's character, those two, they send them off to become Black Widows or whatever, and they had the montage in the opening credits. I thought all that was really good, though at the same time, we should be seeing more than montages. Yeah.
I thought that the part of the montage where they rip Natasha and Yelena apart, that was awesome. That made my heart stop, and I almost cried. Because I have a little sister, and I can't even imagine being ripped from her like that and not seeing her for 20 years. Like that's heartbreaking. I mean, I know they're not really siblings, but Natasha was very protective of her and didn't want her to go through all of that.
Yeah, what were you gonna say something?
No, we were talking about the intro sequence, right?
Yeah.
I will say something for this movie. That's actually one of the best. I think that's one of the best intros we've had for a Marvel project.
I would agree with that.
That intro sequence was really good, especially the cover they used of "Smells Like Teen Spirit." That was actually like, wow, this was actually pretty good. And honestly, it felt like even though this came out now because of COVID, it felt like a Disney Plus series with that intro, because now if we've all seen the Disney Plus series, they have their own intros. So this was something new for the movies to have an intro. But I thought that intro was one of the best in this MCU.
And it's like the tone that they were establishing in the beginning of the movie, like, it gave me something that I felt like was missing from the MCU for a while. That really serious and like grounded tone that was like, especially in the Phase 1, you know, with Iron Man and Incredible Hulk and stuff like that. Like, that's the tone I've been wanting to see from a Marvel film in a long time. And I felt like what they were establishing in the first 15-20 minutes, I was like, we're gonna get a great movie.
But that was my problem.
Yeah.
Was they looked like they were actually gonna be serious this time.
Yeah.
And then it was just joke after joke after joke after joke after, like, you know, it's witty comment here, witty comment there. I mean, do they know how to write anything else?
No, they gotta appeal to the families.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, appeal to families when you're kidnapping little girls and putting them through, like, mental manipulation. Great.
Yeah.
That's appealing to families. You don't need to be funny.
Enforced hysterectomies. A family picture.
Oh yeah.
That. No, but like, to go off of that though.
Yeah.
This movie needed to be serious.
It did.
This is basically bringing awareness to human trafficking, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Bringing awareness to the fact that, like, hey, this happens, and these women are affected by it for the rest of their lives. I read something on Facebook the other day about a girl who was actually a human trafficking survivor. Who she spoke out and said, "This makes me feel like it's bringing what I experienced to light and making me feel validated."
Mm.
And I know like people don't think about that when they think Black Widow, but they should.
Yeah.
It is human trafficking.
It is human trafficking.
It's just a
her
different
mom
kind of it.
sold her to these people when she was a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and they've manipulated her and trained her to think that she has like no options in her life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then she finally gets out, and she realizes, wow, I'm going through a lot of trauma. I have PTSD. Wow, I went through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and people, in the funny, all of the humor in this movie just really bothered me because of that.
Did you not like Florence Pugh's humor? We'll get to her in a second, but
I think hers was the most bearable because
Mm-hmm.
she's looking at the world through fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's super naive. She's never even bought clothes for herself before. I thought that was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Like her little humor and her sassiness towards Natasha, because it's like a little sister, big sister vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I liked that.
Yeah.
But everything else, I feel like it shouldn't have been.
I mean, I could
Yeah.
handle the comedy for this one because it wasn't like Thor Ragnarok where everybody was a fucking comedian.
Yeah.
You know, like
But
there
I did feel like everybody was trying to be a comedian.
I
Even
mean-
the quote-unquote mom.
there was humor in there, but it felt like it was mostly from Red Guardian, which could be excessive, but you know, the other characters weren't joking the entire movie. At
And like
least
their
that's how I
humor is more
felt,
like
so.
dry. It's not like wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the audience.
So it felt, it didn't bother me.
Yeah. But yeah, let's getting into the other characters that we talking about. Florence Pugh as Yelena. She is the MVP of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
she is.
Oh my God, she was so great. She felt more like Black Widow than Natasha did.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're trying to... They wanted to do a Black Widow movie, and then Florence Pugh is like, hold my purse. I'm gonna do this shit. I'm gonna rock this shit. Because Scarlett Johansson forgot to put on her acting pants that day.
Yeah, I see that.
Her delivery, Scarlett Johansson's delivery in this movie is super awkward. Florence Pugh, she was meant to be awkward because, like I said, she's looking at the world through fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And she rocked it.
she totally rocked it. Like, even though I'm a fan of Florence Pugh before this, but I didn't know how she was going to do in a Black Widow film. But she took it and ran with it, man.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Oh my goodness,
At
yeah.
least she put on her acting pants that day.
She certainly did. Not only did I feel like her humor was on point, but like her dramatic parts, I like felt for her. Her action sequences were not really good. Just like, oh my gosh, man. I even like one of my favorite humor bits is like this was improv too. This wasn't part of the script, but when she's making fun of Natasha for doing poses whenever she
Yeah.
does
That was
action
one of my
sequences.
favorite parts.
Yeah, that was good.
That thing that you do with the hair and the you're a poser, you're a total poser. Oh yes, call that shit out because it's stupid.
It is stupid.
And then later on when she did it, she's like, damn it, I just
It's
posed.
like ugh, nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so good, man. Loved her. And then yeah, we'll talk about Rachel Weisz and David Harbour. Okay, Rachel Weisz, I like her from the Mummy movies, the first two. She was fine in this. I don't know, not a lot to her. I didn't feel like she had as much personality as the other three, but you know, I thought she was serviceable. David Harbour. Oh my gosh. David Harbour, I love David Harbour. I think he's great. You know, Stranger Things, other stuff. I think he's a great actor. But in this one, he was too silly for me. He was really too silly. There was some funny parts, I guess. But like, yeah, as we were saying, like it felt like most of the humor and silly stuff was coming from him when, you know, it's supposed to be a serious film and he's, I don't know. It could have been something really profound about, he used to be a super soldier for Russia, I guess. Like, he's supposed to be, he's like envious to Captain America because he's more famous than Red Guardian. Nobody knows who the Red Guardian is. There could have been something very profound with it because, watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, where they actually talk about super soldiers that nobody knew about or whatever. Who is that? Who is the old guy in Falcon and Winter Soldier? Forget his name.
Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley.
I'm going to slap you for this.
Yes, I guess I deserve that. But like,
I mean, look, the comic Isaiah Bradley came from was not very good, but Isaiah Bradley itself is cool.
Yeah, but it's like, they could have done something emotionally profound with that, but it's just like, no, they just want to make him so silly. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
And something funny happened during when Red Guardian is having his arm wrestle with the very tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy has a name.
Okay.
That giant prisoner's name is Ursa, aka that's Ursa Major.
No way.
That's Ursa Major. It's been confirmed. That was Ursa Major, even by the actor himself. That was Ursa Major.
Oh my.
AKA for you.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, and for people who don't know, Ursa Major is a mutant in the comics who has the ability to turn into a bear. So yeah, technically,
mutants
and
exist.
if we didn't realize that watching the movie, that's a problem.
Yes, that goes over your heads.
Oh, are they allowed to say mutant now?
No. Or actually, I think they can now, right? Because they own.
Yeah, because now they own Fox. Before they weren't allowed to say it.
Right. The multiverse is happening, so it'll only be a matter of time.
and then another thing, one of the tattoos he has on his skin is on his right shoulder of 2 roses. If you actually translate the Russian that's on it, it says Yelena and Natasha on it.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice. I wish there was more emotional stuff like that in the movie. I mean, there was that.
He had a lot of emotional moments.
He was really the heart. I would say the heart of the movie.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what they would say,
yes, but no.
but
I
no,
mean,
for
I
this
really
movie-
liked his emotional moments. I felt like the script used him too much. But as far as David Harbour goes, he really put on a performance and he really became that character. So I think he did a good job. I just think the script went too far with his humor.
Yeah, I get that. Because, I do think, his emotional stuff is good, but I just feel like there should have been more of that or something to balance out that humor
Or
stuff.
if they just removed a little bit of his humor, then it would have felt like more of a balance with the drama and the humor.
Yeah.
Because it did get excessive.
He also added a lot of lines.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
Oh, he improv?
He
Yeah.
improv'd
Yeah,
a lot,
you can
yeah.
feel
Feels
that.
like it. I was thinking before he was cast in this because I was disappointed that he was in this. I was thinking he would be great to play Ben Grimm, the Thing, in the Fantastic Four movie. Would you guys have digged that if he wasn't?
No.
No? You don't think he? I think he would have been great. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, in the old Fantastic?
No. In this new one coming
MCU.
out,
When
in
they
the
asked
MCU,
for it.
yeah.
Too old.
Is he too old?
Was he in his 40s, 50s?
I'll look it up.
He's
Keep
too
talking.
old. And
I
he's
mean-
too tall.
I mean, it wouldn't
And
really,
he's not built.
but
Just like Wolverine.
you
You gotta get someone short and not stocky, but built. Wolverine is short.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dwayne
but if the
Johnson
thing's going to be a
taller than
CGI effect, it wouldn't really matter as much, right?
It matters.
Also, Dave.
Because I want him to be a CGI effect. I don't want the guy in the suit. Because it was just weird that in the Tim Story movies that he was the same height as Sue Storm. That was just strange to me.
46.
46? Okay,
He's too old.
all right. But I feel like,
And he's too tall. And he's too skinny.
but the Thing is tall.
No, he's not. He's short.
Which version you looking
He's
at?
chunky.
The comic book version.
There
the
are
real
many
version.
comic versions where he's
I
tall, the
will
same height, or
literally-
Yeah, in Fan
You-
Four Stick, he's
Okay.
really tall.
You want me?
he's
you
almost
want
as
me
big
in
as the
these
Hulk.
videos?
He's almost as big as the Hulk in some
That's
versions.
when he's like.
I know, I get it, but it's just like
Dwayne, he's 6 foot.
the
The Thing is 6 foot.
okay.
He's not Hulk size, but he's 6
That's
foot.
still, yeah, that's
He's
tall.
6 foot when he turns into the
Yeah.
thing.
Usually he's
But
usually
you were talking
he's-
about
When
but
he's the thing.
Human Ben Grimm.
Oh yeah, human Ben Grimm, yeah.
He's too tall.
Which
You can CGI and make him taller.
though, like, what I was also thinking for my fan cast, which I don't know if it's gonna happen now. If John Krasinski was Reed Richards, because he's a tall man as well, it wouldn't look as weird with David Harbour next to him, you know.
Well, yeah. So yeah, canonically he's the thing.
I don't know. That's
6
just
foot.
me. You know,
Yeah,
I want
canonically
John
he's 6
Krasinski,
foot,
Emily
but-
Blunt, and
Ben Grimm is not.
David Harbour,
Yeah,
and
he's 6 foot, but he's
who was the Red Ranger in the Power Rangers 2017? I want him to be Johnny Storm.
You want Dagger Montgomery to play
Johnny
Okay,
Storm.
You
All right,
just
we're
get
getting a
to
little
stop-
off topic.
you
Moving
get to
on.
Stop doing
Moving on.
podcasting. That's terrible casting.
It's been a while. Well, my takes are trash. I get it. But anyway, let's talk about the main villain of the movie.
Ray Winstone?
Yeah, I thought he was.
He was at best serviceable for the plot. Nothing, not the worst, but not the greatest.
Yeah,
Pretty
you
much.
know why? Because they gave him nothing to do.
No,
Really
they
not.
Because
didn't.
they didn't go through the whole backstory. We just got a freaking montage. My muscles are so tense. Why did you want me to do this video?
That's exactly why I wanted you to do it. But it's I'm mind controlling women, and that's it.
I think it's supposed
Young
to be,
girls.
Yeah, young girls.
Young girls.
Children.
girls.
Let me.
And giving them forced hysterectomies. And that's literally it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm going to try and be intimidating. I'm going to try and intimidate an Avenger. Good fucking luck.
I'm gonna punch Natasha while she's not able to do anything.
Natasha has seen shit in her lifetime that this man can't even fucking imagine.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So,
She can take a punch to the nose.
but like he wasn't intimidating. I laughed at him a couple times. I chuckled under my breath when I saw this movie with my dad the second time. Because I was like, your delivery is so weak.
Yeah.
It was weak.
It was flat. Like you felt.
It wasn't
His-
even just flat because I think he was trying. It was just weak.
His acting or just the character? Because I think
Acting.
I think he's a good actor. I think they just needed to give him more development. If they had fleshed out the Red Room more, I think he would have been better.
Well,
Yeah. He
but
would've
that's
been a
what we're
better
saying.
villain,
Is
yeah.
he had nothing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But what he did do, it was weak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I
Like
said, serviceable, but
Yeah.
nothing amazing.
like when he is when Natasha and him have the standoff and like he's controlling her and she's not able to fight back or whatever and he's punching her, like that should feel like a really intense scene, and like it kind of is because Natasha's selling it, but it's like the fact that this dude is just not convincing as an intimidating threat or anything imposing whatsoever, so it's like I don't know, it just comes off bland. It feels like they're trying to do something similar to Alexander Pierce in Winter Soldier, but definitely not even close.
What's the character's name again?
Dreykov.
Yeah, Draco.
Yeah. And like the whole thing with the girls being mind controlled, like was that really consistent with what they were setting up in the previous movies with her? Like I guess what really can go off of is Age of Ultron, but it's like were we led to believe that they were mind controlled?
Well, I
Yes.
think some of them were and some of them weren't, right? Because
Correct.
Nat wasn't.
She was manipulated.
Hmm.
But the newer widows, like Yelena's generation, I guess you could say, not generation, you know what I mean, like Yelena's age and younger, were actually mind controlled.
Yeah, because Natasha's in the previous ones, they weren't mind controlled. That's what I picked up.
Okay.
Hey guys, want to also Ray Winstone?
Hmm.
He was in Cats.
Was he?
He was.
What?
He was.
Who
Ray
was he
Winstone.
in Cats? I
He's
forget.
Growl Tiger, aka the one on the boat who sung that little song. That was Ray Winstone, same actor.
That was him. Oh God.
And he played Mac in Indiana Jones: Kingdom of the
Yes.
Crystal Skull.
Yep.
I can't even
The
take him
double triple
seriously now.
agent.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to be able to take him seriously.
And then, like, how convenient is it that there's like this mist that they're, carrying around everywhere, and that could take them out of their mind control? It felt it was kind of clunky how they just incorporated it in there, but like, why would they?
Oh yeah, Yelena just sent it to her.
Yeah, I'm like, what? that seems very convenient. But it's like, okay, we gotta continue with the plot. Okay, here's what I'm dying to hear you guys talk about. Let's talk about Taskmaster. So, I'm going to get my thoughts out the way because I don't have a lot to say about it because I'm not a huge Taskmaster fan from the comics.
I want to go last.
Okay. And a lot of people were comparing this interpretation of Taskmaster to the Mandarin or not the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 to feel it was that big of a screw over for this character. For me, I don't feel it's that much of a betrayal. I felt like how he was or she was used in the movie. I thought it's okay. It's not a lot of dimension, but like it was somewhat interesting. I could see it. I saw it coming a mile away. Like
Oh yeah. It was very obvious in your face.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not personally bothered by it, but I can kind of see people who are huge fans of Taskmaster like, okay, this is probably not something you would be interested in. Once again, something it feels similar to Bucky and the Winter Soldier with him being mind controlled, but like instead it's a woman, one of the Black Widows is in the Taskmaster outfit and being mind controlled, and it turns out to be Dreykov's daughter, who we thought that Black Widow killed when she was a child, and so, that's crazy. But anyway, that's it. I'll start with you, Nick. Or you want to start? Go ahead. You start.
Yeah, I'll start. I thought she was cool. I thought just as a character, I thought it was impressive how she was able to mimic other people's actions, so then she could fight like them. Mm-hmm. So then she could like one up people basically by learning how they are. So I thought just as a character that was very cool. I think people saying that it's like the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 is kind of ridiculous because in Iron Man 3 Shane Black was straight up trolling the audience, whereas in this, I'm sorry if it doesn't line up correctly with the comics, but I felt like it worked well enough for the movie.
The face of disappointment on Creed.
But yeah, I mean, it was obvious that it was, the daughter.
Yeah.
I saw it coming. But yeah, I mean, she was cool.
Okay, Nick?
So, for people who aren't comic book nerds like us, pretty much the reason for Taskmaster's existence is to give an explanation to, hey, why can these random mooks for the villain can fight the Avengers? That's what he is pretty much was created for as a character.
Kree is holding back her anger.
Actual development character, not the actual character. So as the actual character, it's pretty much not the same Taskmaster from the comics. It's not. But as for telling this story, I can give leeway. For telling what the story that they wanted to tell, I can give leeway. I'm not the biggest Taskmaster stan. I'm really not. I don't like. He's okay as a. Honestly, there's a reason why only now recently stories have used him. I mean, I think honestly the best version of Taskmaster we've gotten was in Spider-Man. Was in the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Yeah.
That was the best Taskmaster we got, but there's a reason why people don't. He's not really used a lot because he has a cool design. It's a cool design, but
he's not used a lot because, in my opinion, he's extremely overpowered.
Yes, he's extremely busted, and also he's another wisecracking villain. Yeah. How many times have we had that in the MCU? People but once again, just like with everything else in this movie, I'm just neutral. I'm super neutral on Taskmaster. But she's literally, if you could see her right now, she's literally clenching her fingers like her sphincter is so clenched she can make a diamond right now. So Kree, what do you have to say about Taskmaster?
So his name. He, a male. His name is Tony Masters. This is the original Taskmaster. His name is Tony Masters, and he has photogenic reflexes. Okay? That's why, that means, actually, I'm sorry, let me go back. That means that he can mimic any fighting style. He was born with this ability, and it showed up when he was young. So what the fuck is this? This isn't Taskmaster. Who the fuck is this? They're trying to make her Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Her. His daughter could have been. I have to stand up. She could have. They could have named her anything else. Literally anything. They could have done. They could have chosen anything else, but they had. Okay, listen. I am a huge Taskmaster fan. Huge. Because he's awesome. He's another wisecracking villain. Kind of like... In the comics, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Deadpool. That's how silly he is.
Mm-hmm.
He.
Not she. We ain't going woke in this piece.
He calls himself a professional villain, and he was hired by different crime syndicates to train their troops. He actually used to watch old police footage of, like, not Batman. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Wrong franchise.
I know. I'm thinking about something else too. Of, like, the Avengers and different villains and Spider-Man. And he, just by watching those videos, can mimic their fighting style.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically what this thing does. She is not Taskmaster. She is not Taskmaster. That's fine if they want to call it the Taskmaster Protocol, but don't call this fucking bitch Taskmaster. Because she's not.
You don't think she's up to the task? Uh-oh.
She's not. Anyway, so what they did for her was, it was another, like, they chemically manipulated her brain, to give her a boost in strength, and then they have her watch to give her reflexes, that ability, that photogenic reflex ability. So she wasn't born with it. She was chemically manipulated. Her genes were chemically manipulated, which I hate.
Yeah. Seen that so many times.
Huh?
We've seen that many times.
Yes. They literally could have chosen anything else. Taskmaster isn't even affiliated with the Red Room ever. There's not one. Let me say that again. There is not one comic out there in which Taskmaster is affiliated with the Red Room, because this guy has standards. Okay? I don't think, just from what I've read of him, I don't think that Tony Masters would be associated with people that kidnap little girls.
Yeah, that seems kind of shady.
So you're saying Kevin Feige and company just threw her in there to spice up the movie, even though Taskmaster doesn't have anything to do with it?
Yes. And they called her Taskmaster because they just needed something to put in there. They needed a villain. They needed somebody to fight Black Widow, and that dude, Dreykov, was obviously not up to the task because she kicked his ass.
Yep.
He literally could have just made his daughter a widow. Why did he have to call her Taskmaster? She could have just been, like, an elite widow.
I think they literally just did that so they can have, like, an over-the-top, colorful character to sell toys.
Ooh, toys.
Yep. The toys and toys and toys.
Fuck you, Marvel. Fuck you. Your toys don't even look good.
Ooh,
Anyway.
shit. Ooh.
Anyway.
All right.
done.
Oh, you're not done? Okay. I'm gonna just sit and be quiet.
I'm not done.
I'm gonna be quiet then. Go ahead.
The last thing, I mean, okay. The actress was very good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or whoever was in the suit doing all of the stunts, because
Yeah.
I doubt it was actually her.
Yeah.
But whoever was in the suit was good. That I mean, that was awesome to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I kept ignoring it when they called her Taskmaster. It just bothers me. Like, if you're going... Taskmaster is pretty well known. And if you're going to change it, explain it.
Yeah.
Like, say that the original Taskmaster trained her.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't they have done that?
That's a good question. I asked the same thing with the Mandarin BS.
Yeah, that was fucked. But anyway, like that's what really got me was why couldn't they have just explained? Oh well, she is basically, you know, the old Taskmaster's protege. He trained her, or like I said before, just make her an elite widow. You don't even need to call her Taskmaster.
No.
They're just doing that as, like, in my opinion, they're doing that as a cash grab.
No,
It's like
it totally is.
It's just a comics Easter egg, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even my dad was pissed. He was like, "Who the fuck is this?" You know, because like.
Yeah.
I get it. They wanted to have Dreykov's daughter in there. I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away. My dad did not, bless his heart. But, like, you could have had her do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't, I can't wrap my head around that. Why would you take a well-known villain and change it so much to the point where it's unrecognizable? It was not the only thing that was recognizable was the fact that she had photogenic reflexes,
Yeah.
which can be chemically engineered.
Mm-hmm.
Was the suit not comic book accurate?
No.
Oh, it's not? I thought it was pretty close.
It was okay.
okay.
It was okay.
I mean, because if we're pretty much like, think of like Doctor Doom's cowl with a suit, and then he has a skull for a head. Obviously, we can't really do a skull for a head exactly like the comics, but for a movie, we could have done better. But
could've
like
done a lot
other
better.
adaptations have done his suit better. But like I said, it's meh.
But anyways, so those are my thoughts.
Okay. Well,
I give it a negative 100 out of 10.
hold on, guys, hold on. We haven't got to the biggest load of BS in this movie, but
Well, I'm gonna throw up.
hold on. But I'll say real quick, I think the action sequences are done really good. It's really cool staging. It reminded me a lot of the Winter Soldier stuff. The chase with Florence, Pugh, and Natasha in the streets was good.
That's what Taskmaster reminds me of. Is a winter soldier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically what she is.
Pretty much.
She's not Taskmaster. So we need to stop calling her that.
Oh, people gonna keep calling her that. But was it me? Something was bothering me during that chase sequence, and they were like, I don't know, up on the building, whatever, and Natasha fell like 3-4 stories, and
Yeah, she got right back up.
She hit her head on a fucking dumpster,
yeah,
and she was fine.
it's like Fast and Furious logic.
Yeah.
Or physics.
I have a feeling her stunt double wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It felt like an accident.
It felt like an accident, yeah. I feel like the stunt double wasn't supposed to hit that many times.
Yeah. I hope that stunt double's okay. Or maybe it was meant to happen. I don't know.
But still, she just got up. Like, you don't just get up.
Yeah,
from that.
you're not a superhero,
unless
Natasha.
unless you're a superhero.
No. I liked the breakout sequence with the Red Guardian at the prison. That was entertaining. With the helicopter, that was cool. And then, okay, all right, I gotta talk about this. What the fuck? There's a base in the middle of the sky with no cloaking device, and you're telling me no one
It
knows
does have a cloaking device on the bottom.
on the bottom.
On the bottom.
Does that make a difference?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's undetectable with radar, and it's too high for any commercial plane to see it, and it's in the middle of nowhere, so no private jets would be going by. It's not near an army base. no army jets would be going by.
Still, Shield didn't know about that.
I was about to say,
shit?
Shield wouldn't know about that.
Well, that's what I was saying to you guys after we saw it. Is there is no fucking way Shield didn't know it was there. There's no way.
Yeah, and then you had Thunderbolt Ross in this movie, and he wasn't aware of that either.
He had to have been. Well, we all know he's a shithead
Shit.
anyway. So.
Yeah,
I forgot Ross was in this movie.
I know.
So did I.
It's literally a cameo
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this film. Need to bring him in for another Hulk film.
Which will never happen because
I want Red Hulk
Universal-
so
Come on,
bad.
Universal, make it happen.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, with how the post-credit sequences are going,
Which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, I mean, outside of the fact that, okay, this base is up in the sky, I don't understand people don't know where it is. There's some cool sequences there. Red Guardian versus not the Taskmaster, that was kind of cool. And then all the Black Widows fighting Natasha, that was intense.
That was sweet.
That was pretty sweet. Like, I was actually on the edge of my seat
Yeah.
there a little bit. I was like, oh, wow, Jesus.
The last half hour of the movie and the first 15 minutes of the movie were the best parts.
Yeah. And even when they blew up the base and like they had that whole sequence of falling out of the sky, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was good too.
And then that's when they want to set up Natasha getting her blonde hair, and then that's leading into Infinity War because this is a midquel. Which thought that was kind of clever how they did it.
It was very smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's not smooth when we get to the credit scenes. So there was a mid and a post one, right?
No, there was only one.
Just a post
Just
one?
one.
That's
Just
what I
a-
thought. There was a post scene.
Just a mid.
Mid.
Just a mid scene. Okay, good. So yeah, the mid credit scene.
I want to do it.
Huh?
I want to do it.
Okay, go ahead.
So mid-credit scene takes place post and I need to say post Infinity War. Post Endgame.
Well, technically.
Post Endgame, we see the grave of Natasha, and Yelena does.
Yelena.
Thank you. I've been butchering that for ages, but she gives a whistle that is pretty much her and Natasha's. And at first, I think majority of us we're wondering are they going to bring were they going to bring her back?
I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, if they do it.
but they don't.
Thank God.
Thank God.
But we do see what was supposed to be the first appearance of the Countessa, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who, if you saw Falcon and Winter Soldier, was in that. This was supposed to be her first appearance. And pretty much she's like Nick Fury. So, I'm making a team, but, you want to know the person who killed her? And shows her an iPad of Hawkeye. Pretty much, she's going to be in Hawkeye. But this was supposed to be the first appearance of Madam Hydra. And yeah, so a lot of people are wondering, are the Thunderbolts or the Dark Avengers happening? Because
I think
That would be great.
that's probably what's
That
happening.
would be great if they do it right.
Yeah, because we have
If.
2 now.
I have literally never had a problem with Marvel until Taskmaster. Literally, I've never had a problem with their casting or with the way that they do things.
But yeah, we're technically now 2
Doctor Strange.
2 down.
Oh, except Doctor Strange. I don't even want to talk about that.
He's getting a second chance.
hopefully Multiverse of Madness
Yeah.
will be better.
But yeah, now we're technically 2 down for the Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers. We have now,
Yelena.
thank you, and U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent.
So now, yeah,
No.
yeah.
So
So
I thought that was really cool, but
But like I said, remember this was technically supposed to be her first appearance
Right.
in the MCU.
so if you're trying to watch this movie like chronological order, it kind of messed things up with that credit scene because that's supposed to take place after Endgame. So it's like if they watch this before Infinity War and Endgame, it's like, that's going to spoil some
Yeah.
Yeah,
things.
this movie needed to be right after Civil War.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now you can't watch it before Infinity War if you wanted to watch it when it actually takes place because of that mid credits spoiling Endgame.
Now it's my turn to shine for why this took ages.
Okay.
Cree probably knows this.
Yes.
So there is a gentleman by the name of Ike Perlmutter. I think I brought him up before with you, Dwayne.
Yes.
Pretty much Ike Perlmutter was one of the men who was in charge of the MCU right when it was starting out. For people who do not know him, Ike Perlmutter is a very cheap, very racist, and very sexist man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
And also he also did put a little pocket change in for Donald Trump's campaign for presidency too. So there's more reason you cannot like him. Pretty much, he did not want to make any movie that did not make money. He was extremely hesitant. He did not want to make a Black Panther or a Captain Marvel movie. I know, Dwayne. He did not want to make them because he was like,
And Black Panther was perfect.
and
so.
was awesome.
And he didn't want to make those movies because he was like, no one's going to want to see those movies. He was extremely sexist for characters, and also this is a rumor. It's not come out if he's actually said this, but for the cat, if you ever wondered why they went with Don Cheadle instead of Terrence Howard, it's because Don Cheadle is cheaper than Terrence Howard, and as the quote goes, he thinks all black people look alike. And also, he's also main reason for why also we have the Inhumans before the mutants, because he's like, they're both superhero teams that, mutants, Inhumans, they're both the same. Just make them.
Oh
do
my
Inhumans.
God.
So,
They
yeah.
are so
Oh
different.
God, they are so
this
different.
guy.
But yeah, that's really why it took so long to get Black Widow's movie, and why it feels like it came out at such a weird time. So yeah, you can send your hate mail to Ike Perlmutter.
You thought Inhumans and X-Men are the same?
They fired his ass, right? When did they do that?
Oh, they like around phase 3 that they pretty much, Kevin Feige being the G he is, he was like, yeah, I'm not going to do any more movies if he's a part of it. So, like, I will leave if he is still here. So Bob Iger was like, yeah, Ike, you got to get the hell out of here. So that's why now Feige has a lot more grasp on the MCU than he did at the beginning.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh fuck you,
Yeah,
Ike
fuck
Perlmutter.
that guy.
Oh my God. So we almost didn't get a Black Panther movie because of him.
Or Captain Marvel, but yes.
I mean, I didn't care about Captain Marvel, but
But yeah. and
But
also
have you seen Wonder Woman? Like, you think female-led superhero movies can't work?
I mean, we've come a long way for female-led superhero movies than Supergirl.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think anyone would take what we have now than Supergirl or Elektra. Yeah. Or Catwoman.
No.
I'd rather watch Captain Marvel than any of those.
I guess, yeah, I'll say that. Okay, well, I think that's all we gotta say about this movie, so I'm gonna go to grades now. Overall, it was a pretty solid Marvel movie. It wasn't a complete waste of time, like I said. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm glad I saw it. I don't know if it's a movie I'll watch over and over again, but I'll probably revisit this every once in a while. I did like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. I did enjoy her, even though I did feel she was overshadowed by the other characters in the movie. Florence Pugh is excellent in this film. She's great. I want to see more from her. I can't wait to see her in Hawkeye, and if they're going to do Thunderbolts and Dark Avengers, can't wait to see more from her. David Harbour was pretty solid. Rachel Weisz pretty solid. I wasn't bothered by the Taskmaster stuff, but it was very predictable. And I feel you, all you Taskmaster fans out there that was not satisfied by this. I totally understand. Me, I wasn't personally bothered by it. The main villain though didn't do it for me, and I wish there was more development with the Black Widows, and Natasha getting trained by that. I wish we had more development with that. It was just flashbacks and whatnot, so I wish we just had more with that, and it probably would have been better if this wasn't a midquel that took place before Infinity War and Endgame, because we know exactly where it's going to end, or if you're not going to give us an origin thing. I just felt it was awkwardly placed timeline-wise. But overall, it's a fine film, so I will say that Black Widow is just okay. Okay, Evan.
All right, I thought it was solid. I thought it was really good. Like what you said, Dwayne, I wanted more from the Red Room, and more specifically from Natasha's training. I was hoping we were really going to dig into that, but it was really just about the other widows and Natasha trying to help them, which is good. It was still an interesting story, and it was still nice to see a new side of the Marvel Universe, like where it wasn't really about superheroes, it was about these spies. It was more just an espionage feel to the MCU. So I did enjoy that. And I thought, all the main characters were great. They all gave, really good performances. So I would give it a B+. I think it's a solid film.
So it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Because I got new ratings.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which one that followed.
All right. Nick got his own rating, so go ahead.
So, at the end of the day, this movie is just an average Marvel movie. Will it change anything? No. Did it add anything to the MCU? Yes. Was this a good swan song for Scarlett Johansson? Not really. We already had a swan song with Endgame. I think everyone will agree that gave her a better ending than this movie.
Yeah.
But I think Scarlett Johansson's fine that she's pretty much free from the MCU. Hopefully she wins her lawsuit because
that's a pretty shitty
they
thing.
screwed her over.
Yeah, give her the money
she
deserves.
Yeah, she has been screwed over by Disney, and hope they learn from this. Probably not, because there's no ethical consumption over capitalism. But politics aside, this movie gets a neutral from me. It's I won't be scrounging to go see this, but if someone says, "Hey, you want to watch Black Widow?" I won't say no. It's not like Thor: The Dark World.
All right, Kree, take us out.
Okay. I've thought a lot about this. Like, as soon as you asked me to do this podcast with you a couple days ago, or was it last week? Yeah.
Thanks.
I really had to sit and think about the movie as a whole and not just the little nitpicky things I hate about it. I agree with Nick that this was, Nick and Evan, that this was not a good quote-unquote send-off for Scarlett Johansson.
I agree with that too.
She was overshadowed, and Dwayne.
Yeah.
She was overshadowed in her own movie. So that's my biggest problem. 2 is, I have to say, Taskmaster. That really bothered me. They did not execute that well. It was not executed. This whole movie was not... for how long they made us wait for it, this movie was not as well made as I thought it was going to be, I guess I should say. And the acting from not just Scarlett Johansson, but from a few others as well, was super flat and weak. So I really have to give it a D.
Trash.
No, that's not trash for me.
Okay.
But
so it's just
I
okay.
acknowledge that it's an okay movie.
Okay.
But I'm a huge Black Widow fan. I was before she even appeared in the Marvel movies. I read her comics when I was little. The milder ones. And I've been wanting a Black Widow movie since I was little, and this is not what I expected from Marvel, and I'm extremely disappointed. Like Nick said, I am not going to watch this again myself, but if somebody said, "Hey, you want to watch this?" Sure. Am I going to pay attention? Probably not. I don't think it was worth seeing twice, and I always see movies twice.
All right, so that's like barely just okay.
Barely just okay. Florence
Okay.
Pugh saved the movie for me.
Oh, yeah.
Red Guardian saved the movie for me. Nothing else saved the movie.
Yeah, Yelena was the biggest takeaway. I can't wait to see more of her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm done with Black Widow.
Yeah.
MCU's Black Widow. I'm done.
Yep. Don't bring her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
we did it,
prequels.
we're
Nothing.
done.
I honestly feel, though, that Scarlett Johansson was not trying. Because she realizes that her version of Black Widow is so famous and everybody loves her and blah, 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 that I feel like she didn't try as hard as she has in previous movies. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do feel like she was stronger in like Endgame, Winter Soldier, Infinity War.
I feel like she's phoning it in.
I don't know. I guess I just didn't personally feel that. You know, I felt like she was still trying. It wasn't as good as previous movies for sure. I agree with that. But like, I don't know. I just didn't feel that personally. I don't know.
There were a lot of really awkward deliveries from her in this movie, and that's why I just felt like she just didn't give a shit anymore. She was like, this movie is taking forever. She's like, I'm not even, after this, I'm not going to be in the MCU anymore. What the fuck? You know, everybody's going to come see it because it's a Marvel movie. It doesn't matter what I do anymore. Is basically what I got from it.
I get that. All right, that is our thoughts on Black Widow. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? Comment below and let us know. So, the next thing we will be talking about in the MCU is Loki. We'll finally be talking about Loki really, really soon. And then Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will be coming out.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it wrong. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, that's going to come out soon. So, we'll be talking about that when it gets released.
What about What If? That comes out this month.
What If? Yep, that too.
Oh,
That's this month.
that's going to be bomb.
That's going to be
I'm
wild.
looking forward to that, yes. So, we'll be talking about that as well. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos we'll be doing. But that's all we have for you Marvel fans, and we will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.